tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy. I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing. Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Bradham in the morning. Marques, Bradham, and Emery.
Yo.
So free agency is upon us.
Yes, 6 p.m., June 30th.
Yes, the NBA free agency has begun. The first shoe to drop, I think.
Real quick, Mark, did they change the date on that? Didn't it used to always be
July 1st?
July 1st?
Yeah, this was the first one. It was in June.
Oh, all right. Because I expected us to be having it during our show. So it threw me off when things started happening yesterday.
Yeah, so June 30th, it started yesterday. But the first shoe to drop, I think, for Sixers fans was, what was James Harden going to do? And James Harden does the team thing. He takes the Tom Brady route, options out, and gives the Sixers flexibility to do the things they need to do to improve the roster. Because at the end of the day, him opting in would not have helped the Sixers at all. So that happens, and obviously you feel good about that because you know what his intentions are. You know why he's here. He wants to win. And Sixers get to work. We talked about the Anthony Melton trade. It's already been done. P.J. Tucker is a Sixer. We get our Beanie Siegel.
I have no idea how they pulled that off financially. I mean, I said last week I don't know how they did it financially. They did it. He's on the team. He's a Sixer. I just want you to know, I don't know how they did it, Marcus. From a financial standpoint, it doesn't make any sense.
James Harden's a big reason why it happened. He'll probably end up taking a deal in like the low to mid 30s to make this all make sense and work, which is he would opt in at 47. So you're saving about $15 million. So you get to lose a lot of the receptions. So you get to pay P.J. Tucker this year off of James Harden taking that alone.
Can we though not like, let's pump the brakes a little bit on the James Harden is a great person. He's a savior for this because he is going to get more money long term because of this. Like, he's not taking necessarily less money. He's just taking a lower amount in the first year.
Well, I mean, I'll take it. Thank you. I mean, is 1 year $47 million more or less money than 3 years $100 million? Well, yeah. I mean, in theory, I see what you're saying in theory, but
no, I appreciate what he's doing. But there's people out here saying like James Harden for mayor, like James Harden is the savior of the team. Like, let's just pump the brake. The man is still making $100 million over 3 years. And if he looks like this, if he looks like he did last year, next year, then I wish it would have been 1 year 47 instead of 3 for 100.
Yeah.
So I understand for this season, I get it. Yes, it helps. I think I read that it's going to start at about $34 million, what his deal is going to be. So he took about a $13 million and some change pay cut.
Yeah,
for the first year, which I get it. I understand. I get that. But I'm not excited about having him. I'm not excited about age 34 James Harden. I'm really not excited about age 35 James Harden.
James, I'm telling you right now, this was a hamstring issue. He's going to be fine. I'm not concerned at all. James Harden, as a superstar, as his basketball, as his game, he's always had an old man game. It doesn't rely a lot on athleticism. I'm okay with him. I think he's going to be fine. He's working out.
They need to change the rules back. He does look slimmer. He has lost the fat suit.
He's working out. He has shape-shifted back to skinny James Harden. Listen, when you have a hamstring issue, what is the one thing you can't do? You can't do cardio. And he has probably been able to work out and do cardio probably in about a year and a half, 2 years. So,
but that doesn't stop you from not eating and drinking whatever you want, though.
Right. No, absolutely. So,
and even if you can't do cardio, you should more so be keeping an eye on that than you typically would.
Right, but I'm gonna guess dieting is not his strong suit. So
I feel like most NBA players is not.
Right. So here's the deal. PA Tucker is here, a piece that if you listen to the show, I was politicking for this season. Too many nice guys on this team. You needed an enforcer. They got that guy right now. And they also the Daniel House move. Also, to me, is a big move. Just for bench depth again, a guy who can help you off the bench, way more athletic than the guys you had come off the bench last year. He has the history with Daryl Morey and James Harden. He played for the Rockets a couple years ago. So your depth is proven. House is 6'6", size athletics again, solid defender, can knock down the three. Shot at about 36% last year, which is just below the league average. It'll get you by. But he's more here for his athleticism. Pairing him with DeAnthony Melton, I feel really good about the direction the bench is going. I don't know if they're done. I know obviously still things are being decided right now, and the biggest news. It's funny because as excited as I think I was about PA Tucker, the bombshell that dropped yesterday is the Kevin Durant situation.
Yes, that is definitely the biggest bombshell. Not only just yesterday, I'd say within the last, basically since he left Golden State.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at, I didn't realize all these Supermax deals came out.
Yes. Yeah. We had a lot of Supermax talk.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. I'll have you rattle those off in a minute. But Kevin Durant decides that he still has 4 years on his deal. He is done with Brooklyn. And can you blame him? I mean, the guy showed up to work.
No.
Every day, did his job, did the best he could, and he's dealing with a lunatic. And at the end of the day, I think Kyrie opts in. I think now it's looking more and more like he opted in to force Brooklyn's hand for a trade, and he's trying to get out of there. Kevin Durant knows that. He looks around, he sees Ben Simmons, he sees an incomplete roster, and he says, "No, not today, Satan. I'm out of here." So he's now decided to want to trade, which sent the NBA into an absolute frenzy yesterday because you're talking about the best player on the planet opting out, and I'm sorry, not opting out, demanding a trade. So everyone is trying to get their best package together, line up their best pupils to see if they can make this work. Now, if you're first of all, DraftKings has now moved the Sixers into second place over the Heat to land Kevin Durant. Sixers right now are at plus 600 to land Durant. The Suns are at a minus 225. Here's what I find interesting about all of this. The Suns don't have the pieces at all, I believe, to trade for Kevin Durant. First of all, DeAndre Ayton can't be, even if they wanted to, he can't be traded for Kevin Durant due to the designated rookie scale player extension, which adds 5 years to the rookie scale deal. So he literally can't be traded for him. But even if he could, let's play along and say you're going to put DeAndre Ayton, that's going to be your prime piece as a package. He can't play with Ben Simmons. So unless you're looking to move Ben Simmons, you can't trade Ayton because him and Ben Simmons can't be on the floor at the same time, and you're talking about two starters that can't play together. They're never going to trade Devin Booker. That's never going to happen. Because why in the world would you take Devin Booker and trade him? Because basically it's almost a wash in a sense. And if you do that, you're not strengthening your team. You're kind of just trading places with he doesn't want to be here, so we'll put him here. He go here. Yeah, Devin Booker's a top 5 to top 7 player in the league, and I don't think that makes sense. If you're doing this, you want to add Kevin Durant to CP3 and Devin Booker. Here's track. Mikal Bridges We know Mikal Bridges' ceiling. He's a nice player, but 15, 16 a game is probably what he's going to be. 3-and-D guy. He can't be the.
I can see him being a perennial. Well, I was going to say a perennial 6th man of the year, Lou Williams type player.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lou Williams had a better offensive game, but Mikal Bridges has a much better defensive game than Lou. But I see him as like your perennial 6th man of the year, your Lou Williams, your Pat Bev, that kind of guy.
He's a hybrid. He could start for you, but he also, like you said, could be a nice 6th man. Absolutely. So then you go down to Miami. Miami is in kind of a similar situation where they can't trade. They can't trade Bam because the same thing, designated rookie scale player extension. So Bam is a guy that can't go there either.
Wait. Bam's still on his rookie deal?
It's called the designated rookie scale player extension adds 5 years to the rookie scale. So that's why he can't go there. Because he falls under that criteria. So Bam Bam is another guy you can't trade. And even if, again, it's the same thing as Aiden. Even if you could trade Bam, the problem is Ben Simmons. If you're saying, and Brooklyn's saying we're not trading Ben Simmons, so if you're not trading Ben Simmons and Bam Adebayo cannot play together. That can't happen. So Tyler Hero is another guy that's been mentioned, but the Nets have already said, no, we're not interested in just Tyler Hero being the focal point of a package. We're out on that. So who's the other guy? Jimmy Butler. Well, if you're Sean Marks, I'm going to assume you have a cellular phone, cable television, and the internet, and you know that Jimmy Butler hates Ben Simmons. Yes.
I'm looking real quick. They have a list of all the players the Nets can't trade for because of the what did you say? The rookie
designated rookie extension.
Yes. Ayton is not on that list, just so you know.
Okay.
Devin Booker is on that list though.
And he's up for did he get Supermax yesterday?
Oh, we will discuss
yesterday because he
did. But DeAndre is actually not on that list, but Devin Booker is. Not that like you said, you're not going to trade Devin Booker, but you can't trade him anyway. Okay. Here are the players that you can't that are off the table. Luka, Trae Young, Gilgeous Alexander, De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, Bam, Tatum, Cat, Booker, Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, and Embiid.
Okay. So yeah, we're in Miami right now, and if Jimmy Butler's not coming there because he hates Ben Simmons. He may not have been the biggest reason why he didn't want to be here anymore. Maybe that's Brett Brown, but Ben Simmons is definitely a reason he didn't want to be here anymore. That didn't work. So I go back to the Sixers now, and this is what I was saying last night when I tweeted out. I know they're going to want Maxey, and they're going to say Maxey, but if you wait this out a little bit, a package of Harris, Thibault, because with Harris, the money is money. I think Harris is making 37 next year, and Durant's making 47. So the money is very, very close. And Thibault and picks. Listen, you can take Korkmaz, you can take Shake. We'll throw.
Is it within? Do you need to make the salaries within $5 million of each other? Is that what the deal is, or $10 million?
I think
it's
look that up. I think it's about 5.
Right.
The salaries are very close. Tobias Harris is a New York guy. New York guy comes home. Matisse Thybulle is a piece that you did want last year. And you might be able to get away with it. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed thing. But I would wait this out a little bit. This is not going to resolve itself quickly because they're, like I said, they're going to want to also do right by Kevin Durant. They don't want to do right by Kyrie Irving. They don't care if they send Kyrie Irving to Serbia. They don't care. However, Kevin Durant is a byproduct of all of these things going wrong. They want him to be happy. So they're going to work with him to find the best possible spot for him. Obviously, they want to get a good deal also, but they're going to work with him to find the best possible spot. And if you ask my opinion, I know obviously it sounds biased, but I think Philly can actually offer him the best deal. Maxey, obviously, no question, is the best deal. But even without him, it's still pretty good for what they can get. They're not getting, and I've always talked about this. When you trade a superstar, it's very rare you get a superstar in return. It usually just doesn't happen that way. And you look at superstars and go through the history of trades in the NBA with superstars. Look at the package that's been offered in return. It's usually a really good player, an okay player, picks, or another okay player. That's not what you're dealing with.
Well, it's difficult to put proper value on a trade on a star player. Like, what is proper value for Kevin Durant?
Right.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Proper value is probably Donovan Mitchell and 2 to 3 first-round picks. Like,
right.
That's probably just the starting point. Now, I know Donovan Mitchell's on the list of accepted players, but that's probably where we're starting. Like, if we're talking true value, it's probably Maxey, Thibault, and multiple first-round picks.
Right.
Like, if we're just being honest.
But you're not going to get true value for that. I, however, disagree. I think you're going to need to put up more than what you said. Oh, real quick. You have to have salaries within $6.5 million.
Okay.
So if it's a $10 million gap, it's just throwing in, another player here, another player there.
Yeah.
Because of Tobias's deal. Now, a couple savage things I kind of was hoping would happen.
Okay.
Like Harden opts out and Morey doesn't offer him a new contract.
That would be savage.
KD waited till Kyrie opted in so that he knew he couldn't follow him.
Right. Wait, and also too, let's just stop with all this Lakers foolishness. Kyrie and Kevin Durant are.
Did you see the tweet that I commented on yesterday?
Yes. Yeah. And
no, they don't have a package to put together for KD and Kyrie. I don't care who told you what, when, and where.
Yeah.
The Lakers are not trading. Like, seriously, like, you got to start with everybody on the team besides LeBron. Russ, AD, everybody on the team besides LeBron, and that may not still be enough.
Right.
Like, you just don't have it.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's get the Lakers out of the news. Stop it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just not, like you said, it's just not happening. It's not. It's just they don't have the pieces. Oh,
how's this? How about the other team that does it? With Kawhi and Paul George. You got to trade both of them at least. Or at least one of them, John Wall, and all of your bench pieces. Now, I understand that the reporters Lakers are making a joke about that, but like the Clippers can put together a way better package than the Lakers could right now.
Yeah, if they wanted to.
No, and I don't think that the Clippers could do that.
Now they got Wall off the buyout. I think they're pretty much set with Wall, George, and Leonard as their three. So I don't see them. Well, I mean, they were already the Kyrie situation. They already kind of talked, and they were like, "No, we were done on that." Kyrie has a one-track buy right now, trying to get to the Lakers. That's what he wants. They may get to the position where the Nets buy him out. We'll see. I don't know, but the Durant situation is just interesting to me because no one saw.
Like, well, if Kyrie wanted to go to the Lakers so bad, why didn't he just opt out and go sign there?
I mean, that's a great question.
He has 1 year left on it. He picked up the last
because the Lakers couldn't. I don't think the Lakers could literally sign him outright for a deal that he's going to command money on the marketplace. They don't have the capital for that. With AD, Bron, Westbrook just opted in for his 47. They couldn't afford to sign him. This has to be a trade.
Now, and then on top of that, well, if Kyrie is a person who has often said, "Oh, I don't play basketball for the money," well, if you want to play the Lakers that bad, you can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you wanted to go for the mid-level exception or something like that, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, after stealing a lot of money from Brooklyn, he probably should do that. But
my point is that I don't want Kyrie at all because I don't trust him. Yeah. I can't rely on him.
Right. Right. Listen, if he signed here for 1 year, okay. Now a long-term deal.
Like the Stephen A. thing. I want to do it. I will give him a contract that it's a team option every year. I'll give him a 5-year deal, but every year is a team option, and they're all it's a heavily incentive-laden contract. I would set it up so that over the course of time, if he hits his incentives, he'll be like the highest paid player in the league. But like those incentives are like, you got to play games. I don't even need because on the court, what Kyrie's going to do. Kyrie on the court, there's never any questions about it. Yeah, he has bad games. Everybody has bad games. But you don't question Kyrie Irving on the court with the basketball.
Right.
It's getting him on the court.
Right. That's always been the issue, is getting him on the court. But
speaking about getting players on the court, did you see that Ben Simmons post?
Yeah, and 10 minutes later, when Kevin Durant said, "I want to be traded."
Well, I mean, the Nets posted that, and I was just like,
yeah. I mean, that's literally, it was like 20 minutes later. Kevin Durant's like, guys, I think I'm good here. But
so let's take the assumption that we don't have to trade Maxey, that you said. And obviously, Embiid is off the table because of his contract. And why would you trade Embiid anyway? You want to pair them together.
Is the roster open besides that?
Like, will they add more pieces if they add Durant?
No. I'm asking you. Like, you said that they probably, in your scenario, they don't have to trade Maxey.
Yes.
If they wait it out.
Yes.
And obviously, you can't trade Embiid.
No.
So then you wouldn't, and plus you can't. He's one of those players that are on that list. So besides that, I forget who is Sean Marks. Is that his name? The GM of the. So if you're Morey, do you go to Sean Marks and say, obviously you can't have Embiid, and you're not having Maxey? Besides that, here is my roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how? No, I'm asking. Is that how you feel? Like that's
exactly how I feel. Yes.
That you can go. Who do you want?
Name your price, and it has to start with Tobias because of the money. So
yes.
he has to be the focal point of it.
You're probably not going to. Who's the new guy that just got for Green?
Melton, D'Anthony Melton.
Yeah, you're probably not going to trade him just because you just got him.
Because he just got him. So you can't trade him.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but so listen, I know we're down on Thibault here, but people aren't down him around the league. He's still a valuable piece around the league that people would love to get their hands on. So
yeah, I'd love for him and Simmons to play together in Brooklyn.
I think it's just right now with the Durant situation for the Sixers, just be patient because you're looking around. I'm looking around the league, like I said, and the fact that Brooklyn's going to want to work with, they're not going to send him to Sacramento. They're not going to send him.
You don't think so?
They're not going to send him. They're not going to send him to one of those teams like that. They're going to send him somewhere that he wants to go.
Why do you not think that?
Because I think they want to do right by him. They're not just going to send him for random.
I mean, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I just want to know why you think that, or you just have a gut feeling that.
It's two reasons. It's because I think they understand where he's coming from. Because listen, this could have got ugly, right? Sean Marks could be like, "Well, we're not trading you. How about that?" He has 4 years. The fact that he asked for it and it was released and it was all right. Well, let's see what we can get for you. Shows me right there they're working with him. It's knowing the world that something usually this stuff gets ugly if they're not working with you. Plus, also the NBA side of it, where you think Adam Silver wants him in Sacramento or wants him in one of these random towns.
Because the only reason I asked because Lombardi put out a tweet last night, and he was, or it might have been I saw it this morning, so he may have put it out this morning. But anyway, it said if I'm the GM of the Nets, I'm doing whatever the best package is. I don't care where Kevin wants to go. It doesn't matter. You have 4 years left on your deal. Whatever I can get for you is where you're going. And that's coming, obviously, football's a little different than basketball.
Very, very different.
So he has like the football, mindset for that.
Yes.
But it's still the opinion of a general manager.
1,000%. But again, like you just answer your own question. Football. It's football is very different than basketball. Basketball players have way more control. It's a players' league.
Plus,
The NFL is not a player.
a bad football team, you can turn around that quickly.
Right.
It's hard to turn around a bad basketball team.
Right. And there's markets that just, unfortunately, in the NBA just don't matter. And the NBA has those prime markets. They want Kevin Durant in a prime market. It's just that simple. They want him in a prime.
Do you think they hate the process enough to block it, though?
I mean, yes, but they're not gonna have a choice. If six off the best package, which, like I broke down, I think they do have the best package, even without Maxey. I think it's better than anything any other team can really give them, besides giving up one of their superstars. They're not going to do. So I would just
Derek Bodner.
Just be patient. Just be patient.
Derek Bodner had my favorite reaction to the tweet to the Kevin Durant news in a tweet that I had seen, and it was come on now, Tyrese Maxey would trade Tyrese Maxey for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
let me ask you this: if it comes down to Tyrese Maxey being the sticking point, are you moving him?
Yes. Yeah, I think
if it comes down to, all right, here's the deal. The thing is, we want Maxey. Do you let Maxey stand in the way of Kevin Durant?
No. And I don't understand people that do. Like, I love Tyrese Maxey. Who doesn't? I'll miss Tyrese Maxey. However, we're talking about easy money sniper. We're talking about the best player in the NBA in the world.
Slim Reaper.
Slim Reaper. Like, are you kidding me? With Embiid? Who's guarding that? Who's guarding that? Who's going to be responsible for Joel Embiid and Kevin?
And I'm sure you're going to still have Harden. The Nets don't want Harden back.
You still have Harden.
I forgot because the Nets do not want Harden back.
Well, no, and it's not an option. But who's dealing? No one's gonna deal with that. So yeah, like listen, you land Kevin Durant, you win a title this year and possibly next year too, no question. So sorry, Tyrese, like that's the business, and it's unfortunate you got caught in the crosshairs of this, but that's how it goes. But again,
can we get Seth back?
I mean, now we're getting greedy. But honestly, if you're telling I might do this. All right, you want Maxey? I want Curry. Maxey, Thibault, Harris, Picks, Curry, Durant. That might be the answer. And then Maxey, I'm like, all right, yeah, definitely. Sorry, kid. All right, it worked out.
Yeah, you were just in New York. Were you driving to Brooklyn for that deal?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll take the ferry over there together. Passing the Brooklyn.
You can pick up Seth on the way back.
Yep, absolutely. No question about it. So, the Sixers already, to me right now, already a better team they were last year. But if we get greedy, obviously, it could be even better than that. But they're already a better team. Mm-hmm. Even at the worst case scenario, you're getting Kevin Durant out of the East probably. Which is huge.
I mean, Brooklyn is. I mean, the Nets have a long history of netting, just like the Browns have a long history of browning.
Yes.
But this dismantles a team in the East.
Which I know, and if you guys listen out there, I know you guys know. I've never been a fan of the construction of this Nets team, in the sense that
but still it's still the mental threat of Kyrie and Kevin Durant together. Because when it works, it's a problem, but it just doesn't always work. I mean, you remember the games where KD will drop 50 and Kyrie will drop 35, and Nets win by 40.
Yeah, they tried for years to prove a theory that the regular season doesn't matter. And they tried that for about 3 consecutive years. And guess what, guys? The regular season does matter. It's important to show up to work every day and play basketball together as a cohesive unit. And if you don't, you won't be successful. And listen, I got to say this, because we really didn't touch on this point yet. Man, does this feel good as happening to Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait till you bring your behind, you by yourself, to the Wells Fargo Center this year to see what we got for you. Because we got some things for you, bro.
It couldn't have happened to a better person, could it? Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
This is karma at its finest. Joel Embiid with the LOL is exactly how we all feel looking at you, making your ridiculous face with your IG story, and now the team literally. You thought you were going to play with KD and Kyrie. You can hide behind them. That's really what he did when he showed up here at the Wells Fargo Center. He hid behind KD and Kyrie. He hid behind them. They showed out, no question. But now you have no one to hide behind. Literally, when you take the court, it's going to be your team. It's going to be your team. And we are looking to destroy you and your team.
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't think he has the guts to play. I think he's gonna somehow have something where he can't play here.
He's not gonna play.
I don't think he's gonna play here either. It's gonna be some kind of day off. I don't think he's playing. He don't got them type of guts.
What's it? Load management day.
Yeah. I feel the same way, but. Yeah,
Two great tweets about the thing though is first I saw somebody commented on Ben Simmons' picture. I was like, "This is the same face Don Hector makes in his wheelchair."
Yo, that is true. He's not trending anymore because someone had an awesome tweet. I'm trying to paraphrase it. Basically, we're like, with all this Kevin Durant moves and Kevin being moved to wherever he's being moved to, I would love for the Sixers to focus on LSU standout Ben Simmons.
That was going to be my second one. Where I was like, I got two tweets for you. That was the second one. That was also a great one. It's like I love LSU guard Ben Simmons coming out of the draft.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It's gonna be a lot of jokes because for obvious reasons. But
Marcus, what about the mean Philly fans that didn't care about his mental health?
Right. Well, the mean Philly fans. If you're a Philly fan, you should feel vindicated because not only did we not want him, obviously Kyrie and KD didn't want him either. And listen, at the end of the day, this broken situation is all Kyrie Irving's fault. He put all of this into motion. It's all his doing. It's all falling apart, and I love to see it because it takes another team off the board for the Sixers. And help them.
Did you see what Kyrie said when he opted in?
Yes. Like he was doing something revolutionary.
He took the most money.
Yeah, like, bro, you're just signing a contract.
Well, like, Marcus, if somebody came to you and said, listen, I have a piece of paper here on the left and a piece of paper here on the right.
Piece of paper on the left, if you sign that, you get $37 million. Piece of paper on the right, you get $6 million. Which one would you sign?
37 million.
Oh, so is that one of the people? Is that normal, or is that one of the people that are revolutionary?
Normal, I think.
I would think so too. This reminds me of those questions where it's like, would you rather have $100 million or dinner with Jay-Z?
Right.
What?
So I want to shift gears. First of all,
for $100 million, Jay-Z is going to want to have dinner with me.
Right. I want to shift gears a little bit. Well, actually, first, before we do that, why don't you go through all the Supermaxes, and then we'll.
Oh, okay. All right. We got Joker getting a 270 from the Nuggets. John Morant with the what's that?
Well deserved.
Yeah, I don't know if he's not necessarily someone I'm trying to hitch my wagon to, but John Morant with the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
Booker 224 Supermax, bringing his total worth to 295.
Wow.
6 years for Booker.
Okay.
Real quick on Booker, are you up to date on the him and Kendall situation?
They were supposedly broken up. They were seen together. I don't know what's going on over there.
They broke up for like 3 days, and then she posted a nude picture on IG, and then that night they got back together.
He was like, "Okay, I'm back."
It's like, oh, I forgot what she looked like naked.
Well played, Kendall Jenner.
Well, like think about it, that's a power move.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we broke up. How am I going to get him back? I'm just going to pose naked on the internet. Like that's a
There you go.
That's the Kardashian in her.
Yeah.
Like she might be a Jenner, but that's the Kardashian in her.
Yes.
Cat, 4 years, 224.
Wow.
Now it's not a super max, but Jalen Brunson of the Knicks, 4 years, 104.
Yeah, I mean, I understand I understand why the Knicks felt the need to do that. They definitely overpaid for him. I think Jalen Brunson had a great year last year. Deserves to get paid.
I think
good player,
but I think he's a better player in that system. I think he needs to be in that Maverick system with Luka and all them.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a great fit with Julius Randle. We'll see. I understand why the Knicks did it, because the Knicks needed a point guard forever. If they're expecting him to be a dude to be the superstar, then I don't think that's going to be working out that well for them. We'll see.
Yeah, and then that's it for the super max deals.
Well, the Hawks get much better. I love that trade for them. DeJounte Murray is a guy that's kind of been hiding in San Antonio because they haven't really made the playoffs or been on national TV, but he's a great player. Pairing him with Trae Young, I think, is a very, very smart move. Giving some size in that backcourt, an all-world defender and a guy who can score, all-star. That was a good move by them. They didn't really give up a lot to give them. They only good Arians and picks. So, very, 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 very good move by them.
So, and then just Andre Drummond, obviously it's not a max deal. 2 years, $6.6 million to the Bulls, which is good move for the Bulls in my opinion. Now, I mean, they have what's his name? Vucevic. Yeah. So Drummond's going there as a backup, but I mean, you saw what he did here as a backup.
He's a quality backup. Definitely
so
for them.
The Bulls, I wouldn't put the Bulls in the same tier as the Bucks or the Celtics or the Heat or even the Sixers. But the Bulls are a playoff team. They're a decisive playoff team.
Absolutely.
Especially with Lonzo coming back. They still have Zach LaVine and who's the other guy they got?
Did LaVine resign yet?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah. Who's the other one they got?
DeRozan, LaVine.
DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, that was it. DeMar DeRozan.
And Lonzo Ball will be back healthy.
Yeah, Lonzo will be back.
I think when he went down it was obviously huge for them. So he'll be back healthy. Caruso. Yeah, they have a solid squad. So yeah, I want to shift gears because I want to get into this Freddie Freeman story. This is.
Oh, okay.
This is
yes.
What,
this is, and I'm assuming you're up to date on it then.
Yes.
Okay.
So this weekend the Dodgers play the Braves. Which, side note, Phillies take care of business at home last night. Get back on the. Aaron Nola.
I actually watched that game. That was a beatdown.
Yeah, gave a beating. The weekend the Braves play the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman's first time back in Atlanta. They give him all the treatment. Great standing ovation. And Freddie Freeman never really wanted to leave Atlanta. He was under the impression that Atlanta didn't offer him anything after the Dodgers. Well, according to people in the Atlanta Braves organization, I guess that talked to Freddie last weekend, they did. They did offer him. And Casey Close, who is now the former agent of Freddie Freeman, did not tell him about that offer. Now, this has a lot of layers. Casey Close, and I want to make sure we say this part also, has also said that the Braves are perpetuating a false narrative, and that's not true.
Now, I also got to preface this by saying this came from all sources, Doug Gottlieb, which you got to take anything that guy says with a grain of salt.
Well, Freddie Freeman apparently.
I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a liar.
Yeah.
But, I mean, by no means like is Doug Gottlieb like Woj or anything like that. So you always got. I mean, this is this is what's that?
Buster.
No. I mean, we're talking about a guy who, as a player in college, got busted for stealing his roommate's credit cards and using them because he didn't want to spend his own money. So, like, you got to take everything with him as a grain of salt. We're talking about the same person who complained when the transfer portal was put in place, the same person who complained when NIL was put into place, and the same person who complained when the U.S. women's national soccer team is going to get the same amount of men's. So everything you got to take from him, you got to take with a grain of salt.
Well, Freddie Freeman apparently believed him. He fired that man. He said, out. Now, here's my question to you. I don't like when you become a professional athlete, I don't understand why more players just don't represent themselves in these deals. Like, I understand as when you come in as a rookie and you're first getting the league, I understand having the agent, that first deal. But then you're a Freddie Freeman. I'm making it more exclusive with guys like that. You're a Freddie Freeman. You're a superstar. You know what you command. You know what you're going to get. Why would you not try to represent yourself in a situation like this? You've been with this organization for years upon years. They've known you since you were a pup. You want to be there for life. Why would you not be more hands-on in this stuff? Like, I don't understand. Like, for me, I think he's hiding behind Case Close a little bit, because if you really wanted to be there and you really were that adamant about being there, why weren't you more involved in these negotiations? Why weren't you taking more of a proactive stance in negotiations? Like, if I have a relationship with the, like I'm sure he has with the Braves, and Case Close comes because at the end of the day, for agents, they just want the best paycheck. They don't care about where your loyalties are. They want to get the best deal so they can get paid. So probably the Braves were probably trying to do the home count discount thing, and Case Close was like, well, you know what? That's Dodger Deal offer. I'm just gonna whatever. He's not involved. He's not asking. So we're gonna go with that. I don't understand if you're Freddie Freeman. Why don't you go back and say, wait, they didn't say anything? Let me call Jim. I'm gonna call someone I know over there and find out what's going on. The fact that he didn't do that to me is weird.
A few things. So it's a sport by sport thing. Like, for example, if I'm like, James Harden doesn't have an agent. I don't know if you knew that or not. James Harden doesn't have an agent.
Yeah.
Most superstar NBA players don't have an agent. Because in the NBA, contracts are slated, you're an all-star, you get this kind of supermax, blah, blah, blah. So they don't have to give it out. So Embiid as an agent, not common. Like superstar, and because they can use services from the Players Association at no extra charge. So like Harden, the reason he doesn't have an agent is because he can just basically say, okay, I got supermax option A, B, C. He goes to the Players Association and they sort through the different things. It's not like getting in there and negotiating. So NBA, I agree with you. Outside of your first contract, it's not really much, and most of them have like a business manager who doubles as their agent anyway. So that's for the NBA. NFL, if I was an NFL player, I would not even step foot onto a professional team's property without an agent. Way too much minutia in an NFL contract that me as a player, that I probably have no background in contract negotiation, litigation, all that kind of thing. Now, Richard Sherman, obviously everything, he's a smart guy. He's doing his own contract. But then on the other hand, look at the guy from Denver who was negotiating his own contract, and in the process of that got hurt, and the team decided, well, we're not negotiating with you anymore. Whereas if you have an agent, they can speed it up because you're working out, you're training, and then you're negotiating.
Yeah.
So in the NFL, I think you need an agent. I don't know enough about hockey to comment on it. And baseball is like a hybrid. If you're a Freddie Freeman, I feel like the mid-tier guys are the ones that don't need an agent. If you're a young player or a rookie player, you want an agent because the team's going to take advantage of you, and you need someone on your behalf. Superstar players,
you need an agent because, like, you want someone to negotiate. Like, let me just ask you this. Would you feel more comfortable having someone who has 25 to 30 years experience doing it? Or would you feel more comfortable personally dealing with a 13-year, $325 million contract when you're only 26 years old?
I mean, yeah, someone who has experience, obviously, yeah.
So like that's what I feel like it's in baseball. It's the middle guys, like the Bryce Harpers. You want an agent. The, Manny Machados. You want an agent. But give me like those middle tier guys.
Yeah.
Who's a middle tier guy? A Reese Hoskins. What do you need an agent for? You're slated in to get a certain amount of money for a certain amount of years played. You have a certain amount of vested years as a veteran.
Yeah.
Why do you need an agent? No one's going to go to Reese Hoskins and say, we're going to give you a $400 million deal.
Right.
But if you want to play somewhere, you make it happen. Because at the end of the day, the agent works for you. You don't work for the agent. So Freddie Freeman, if you wanted to be in Atlanta, you'd be in Atlanta. You know why you're not in Atlanta? Because the Dodgers had 160 some odd million reasons for you to leave. If you wanted to be in Atlanta that bad, you'd be in Atlanta.
You worded it great. Why didn't I call Jim over there and say, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, it's just weird that I think it's revisionist history for him to just put this all on his agent. And, obviously, if that's the case, I'm sure he's frustrated, but you're frustrated with yourself because you weren't invested.
Yeah, why didn't you follow up?
This is your future. This is where you're going to end up playing at the end of the day, not your agent. So you should be fully invested in what's going on.
Did he win? He won World Series MVP, right? Freeman?
I believe so, yeah.
Now, listen, you won the World Series after, I think he was a high school draft pick, wasn't he, Freeman?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's 32. So after being, 12, 13, 14 years after you got drafted, you won the World Series and you're the World Series MVP.
I'm not saying that you don't deserve vacation, partying, relaxing, all that. I'm not saying you don't deserve that. But maybe instead of gallivanting the whole offseason around, you figure out what you're doing next year. Right. Instead of worrying about someone else to worry about that for you.
And again, you have ultimate control. You could say, hey, don't do anything until I get back from vacation. You can say things like that. Like if this, like, listen, you're with a team for that amount of years, and it's like, yo, I want to stay here. And you tell your agent, it's this simple. I want to be here. This is where I want to be. So
get me the most amount of money to be here.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that I want to be here.
Right.
Get me the most amount of money, but I'm not signing anywhere else. So whatever their final offer is,
we're going to take that. And if you're the agent, of course, you want to get the best deal possible because you get the most money out of this. So, of course, the Dodgers deal.
And then it looks good for you moving forward. You can say to your next client, well, look, I just got, $180 million for Freddie Freeman. What I don't know what his deal is, but, whatever it is.
Right. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because, you don't really hear stuff like that very often. Like it was just interesting to hear that, how that went down. Well, we got.
I'm just trying to find what his deal was. Freddie Freeman.
I would just love to be, a fly on the wall for that conversation because if I'm the agent, I'm saying to him, listen, man, you were in San Tropez while I was handling this business, and you didn't specify what you wanted. When I gave you
6 years, 162.
Yeah, when I gave you the Dodgers deal, you said, okay, let's go. You didn't say what did the Braves say. Like, you didn't care. It's weird too because there was some people were surprised with Ronald Acuna Jr.'s what he said when Freddie Freeman left, and it seemed like there was some friction leaving the door. And now, I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really, really odd how that went down with Acuna, because like he did the interview in Spanish, probably thinking no one would see it.
Right.
It's like, bro, there's a lot of people out here that speak Spanish. Like they know what you said. And he's like, no, I didn't say that. Like, I don't speak Spanish, so like if you lie to me, like I don't have any proof.
Right.
But people speak Spanish.
Right.
Like they know what you said.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting stuff. I mean, and now, and also too, like, how do you feel now if you're the Dodgers, like knowing that this guy really doesn't want to be there? Like, it's just, I don't know. I think the way he like this should have been handled behind closed doors. It should have been a teachable moment for him. But hey, would you rather have a teachable moment and still be $162 million richer, or be broke? I mean, it should be one of those things where living lesson learned. I need to be more hands on. I should have been more hands-on this. I wasn't. Things got lost in translation. I didn't end up spending the rest of my career in a place I wanted to be. That's just really the moral of the story.
And then you had the Kershaw, Freddie Freeman confrontation.
Yeah.
Which had to happen. I'm not trying to say like, it had to happen.
Right.
Because like you're here now. Like
right.
You're here now.
1,000%. I'm with Clayton Kershaw on that.
Like, absolutely.
Like, and that's what I mean. If you're the Dodgers, like, how do you feel about all this foolishness? Like, he's not making friends in that locker room.
No,
over the situation. He's not. You know, like it's not like, you know, him going home, him going back, getting the ovation, getting a little emotional. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's the aftermath of how he's handling this now. It just doesn't. It's not a good look. You don't play for the Braves, you play for the Dodgers. It's that simple.
Yeah, I'm 100% with Kershaw on this.
Yes. So you got a top 5?
I do. Just skimming some birthdays real quick. We got a happy birthday to Missy Elliott.
Misdemeanor.
Happy birthday to Pamela Anderson.
Okay. I actually just watched was it Rich and Shameless on the Pammy and Tom sex tape. Did you
is that the Hulu documentary?
Yeah, do you know the actual story of what happened, how it got leaked out? It was a construction worker working on their house.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Mm-hmm. He stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took the safe because they weren't paying him.
Yeah.
That's why you got to pay your people.
You got to pay your people.
It
would have been Princess Diana's birthday.
Okay. Wow.
It's also Liv Tyler, who famous dad, obviously. Steven Tyler. She's a good actress of her own right. Mm-hmm. And rapper Piles.
Plies.
And Pies, is that how it is?
Yeah, Plies.
Oh yeah. I can't read Plies. Yeah, I thought it was spelled different. Yeah, Plies. Yeah, I just can't read. His birthday. I even as I sat there, I was like, Piles doesn't sound right. Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, legend.
And whole lot of YouTubers. But I do have top 5. So obviously it's 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, it is.
We will not be doing a show on Monday.
We will not.
Obviously it's 4th of July. So I have compiled my list of the top 5 backyard / barbecue / tailgate beach games.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I'm not talking things like football or basketball, things like that. I'm not talking about
with a beer in your hand.
Yes, things that you do I'm not talking about like pool or anything like that. These are games that you play outside at an event.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and I feel like obviously a lot of people may feel the same as me, that the top one has already been selected. We're really might be fighting over the rest of the list, at least in my opinion. So we're going to start with number 5. Marcus, this is the game that you probably never heard of, and if you have heard of it, I will be impressed. And that is called Stump.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so I first learned this game at tailgates for Penn State football.
Okay.
So you got to understand that this is a redneck game, okay? Because Penn State really is a redneck school that just plays football. A lot of people that's never been there don't realize it. Penn State's a redneck school that just happens to be good at football.
Okay.
So what it is you have a giant tree stump, and everybody gets a nail. So say you have 6 people playing. Each person gets a nail. You take it and you just tap it into the stump far enough that the nail won't fall over on its own, so that it's just standing upright. And then you take turns. You have the hammer. You take turns. You got to swing one motion down. You can't line. There's one steady motion down. You hand the hammer to the next person. They get it, and one steady motion. You're trying to knock in everybody else's nail. The first person whose nail goes in, you got to chug the rest of your drink. And the goal is to have your nail as the last one in.
No, I'm out.
Now, listen, I said the first thing. I watched people play this game for weeks, and I said, this is the dumbest game I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
And then I played it, and I was like,
You were stumped.
okay. I played it, and I was like, all right, I can get down with this. But like I said, there's a reason it's number 5. It's not number 1, Marcus. This is number 5 on the list.
Well,
Right? Number 4, ladder ball.
yes. Ladder ball strong.
Okay, coming in at number 4.
Strong game.
Yes, I still remember the epic ladder ball game I participated in on your 40th birthday.
Yep. Yeah.
Coming out victorious.
At the ladder ball court. Yep.
Yep. So number 3, horseshoes. I'm a big horseshoe person.
I like horseshoes. I don't love horseshoes. I like horseshoes.
Yeah. I feel like really ladder ball and horseshoes are basically the same game. It's just do you prefer the ladder or the horseshoe? And then number 2, I'm gonna go flip cup. I was torn between that and beer pong, but because I probably prefer playing beer pong more. But beer pong is limited to 4 players max. You can have as big of a flip cup game as you can have as big of a table as you have.
Flip cup is my favorite game.
Yeah, it opens up more. So you can have a 6-on-6 in flip cup.
Yes.
You can have a 4-on-4. Beer pong, while I probably prefer to play it, you're only limited to 4 people. So I had to put flip cup in over beer pong in this list.
Yeah, flip cup to me, it's my favorite drink game by far. I love because the thing about like beer pong is a little lazy for me. Like it's a little laid back. Where flip cup is flip cup's an intense game. I love the intensity.
We actually created a game when I was in college. We called it a Flingo.
Okay.
And it combined both.
Okay.
So it's similar to. Well, I shouldn't say. So your partner your teammate, instead of being the person in beer pong, your teammate's standing next to you.
Yeah. In
this game, your teammate's standing across from you. So the person next to you is on the other team.
Okay.
So you line up 3 cups in front of you, 1, 2, 3, and the person at the other end of the table does the same thing, 3 cups in front of them. There's your 6. Other team, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then say you and I are partners. We're standing across the table looking at each other. I shoot the ping pong ball into your cup. You drink it, then you flip it. You shoot. First team to flip all 6 wins.
Ooh.
So it combines, you have to make it, but then you also have to flip it. And it could get to a point of, what if you make all 3 of your cups and I still have 2?
Well, then I'm constantly just shooting until I make it.
Yeah. I like that.
Combines a little bit of both.
I like that.
And then for me personally, number one, the goated game, in my opinion, of tailgates and all that, cornhole. Yeah.
Cornhole is, yes. I don't have much pushback to this list. Stump me is the one that I would move. If I was going to replace it, I'd put Can Jam in there. Love me some Can Jam.
See, well, I mentioned to you before the show, I didn't think at top of the list we would have much dispute.
Yeah.
I felt like we'd agree for a lot of the list, but I felt like at the bottom we could have some disagreements. And when I first saw Stump, I pushed back against it. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, it took me almost a whole college football season to get to appreciate it. And like I said, it's number 5. It's not number 1. It is number 5. But I would be disrespectful to having a unbiased list if I didn't include it at least at number 5. Because it does it once you get in there, especially after you've had a few, and you're sitting there and you're just talking like, yo, I'm going to knock this nail through the bottom of this stump right now.
Yeah. You might have some people upset too that beer pong did not make the list. I understand you pick beer pong flip flop. There's people upset about beer pong not being on this list.
I mean, listen, if you're a beer pong person over a flip cup person, I'm not going to push back. Like I said, I probably prefer beer pong. But it's just strictly so that we can get more people involved in the game at a single time. If you wanted beer pong in there at number 2 instead of flip cup, I'm not going to give you too much pushback. I like to get everybody included.
Yeah, me too.
I like to get everybody included.
And then it's great. You can talk to people across the end, and you're talking trash. And
so check this out. Baltimore, July 4th, 2019.
Okay.
I get invited to like my boss's house for a cookout.
Okay.
A mansion party, Marcus. Up in like Bel Air.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you get the vibe now.
Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah.
Okay. I'll send you the picture.
Bel Air, California. First confused.
No, Bel Air, Maryland, not Bel Air, California. Yes. Yeah. But still, I mean, you basically need to have the same net worth to live there, though.
Yes, correct.
So, I mean, I'll send you pictures. I've never seen a backyard like this. I mean, massive. So, he had a giant tarp set up in the back going down the hill. And he put dish soap and put it was a slip and slide flip cup. So you had to go down the slip and slide and then do the flip cup. And your teammate couldn't go down behind you until you flipped it.
Love that. Love it.
So you would get down, but by the time you would have people that specifically like the women there that would have like soap from the suds like in their hair and they're trying to flip it and it's just mayhem.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, I have a pretty good center of gravity based upon my body height and everything.
Yeah.
I was flying down this tarp, Marcus, doing this slip and slide. I was basically the MVP, not because I could flip it fast, just I could get down the tarp so fast down to the table that everybody would say, okay. I was consistently the first pick, and people wanted me to go first. So it was get down and get out of the way.
Well, and the thing about Flip Cup is the guy or girl who can chug the fastest. You want to get that chug down so you can get a chance. If you have to mess up, you mess up. But like that chug is so important.
Well, if we're talking about team construction, do you prefer your best to be your leader or your anchor?
The leader. I think you have to get a good start because
a
lot of times you get that first person to go, which a lot of times is me. You're that first person to go, and they flip it, they land it. The panic sets in over the other side. They see it, and they're starting to get the bubble hands.
Because I prefer to close it out. Like I like to be at the end. Now it's a double-edged sword because sometimes if you got some slop in front of you, it never gets to you.
Right.
But like I always feel like if it gets to me, we're winning.
Right.
because I'm closing this mofo out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So,
like
but that is
everyone kind of has the opportunity to play every role. So you have to be the pace setter and you get to be the anchor. But I like both of those jobs. I'm in on both of those.
One time I was at a party while I was at Penn State, and this is summer 2010. Okay. So Marcus Bradham is probably a wild person this summer.
Oh yeah. That was an MVP summer for me.
Yeah. Okay. So Bronny from the Real World. I don't know if you remember Real World back then, but Bronny was actually a student at Penn State while he was doing his filming for it.
Wow.
Okay. So everybody, Bronny, but actually but it turns out I actually knew a few people that knew him, like before Real World. And one of my neighbor's very good friends was actually his roommate for a summer. Like Bronny had a place and he was looking for someone to live with him during the summer to offset some of the bills. And this guy that was my neighbor happened to be really good friends with the guy that accepted his offer. So he invites us my neighbor's friend invites us to a party one day. Hey, come here. Oh, by the way, it's at Bronny from the Real World's house. He's my neighbor. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, but this sounds like it's a great party. Let's go.
Yeah.
And this is summertime at Penn State. Summertime at Penn State's very dead. I mean, we're talking a tenth of the student body.
Yeah.
You can really get close-knit groups and really form some solid, groups during that period of time.
Yeah.
And everybody's up there it's summer, so you don't really have class. So everybody's down to party every single night.
Right. So
we go there, and it's going down, Marcus. This party is raging.
It's already full constructed.
It's the women there are like a different level of women than other, I walk in, I'm like, all right, it's going down.
Yeah.
So we somehow get on the game of Flip Cup. We end up playing. We're playing Survivor Flip Cup.
Ooh.
So you vote someone off on the other team if you win.
Okay.
So the amount of cups stay the same. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You had the choice. You had the choice to bring someone back on your team or vote someone off on the other team.
Okay.
We start killing them, Marcus. We're knocking them down on the other team like it's nothing. I'm up there averaging 37, 15, and 10. All right. I'm just slaying it.
Yeah.
Through the course of the game, though, somehow by the end, it's going on, continuing. Now it's me versus their whole team.
Oh my.
And I'm like, oh God, if I lose, it's over.
Right.
So I remember sitting there and I look at Bronny. Bronny's like, and remember, I'm like fresh 21 years old. Looks at me, goes, if you win this round, I'll give you $2,000. Now I'm fresh 21, so what's $2,000 to me is like, let's go. Yeah. Marcus, I got 5 out of 6 cups down, and I couldn't get the last one down.
Oh.
And I remember my roommate, friend of the show, comes over to me, puts his arm around me and goes, I know you lost, but that was some of the most legendary I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. He's like, he's like, that was legendary. And I was like, I was so deflated. I was like, can we just leave? And we just left. I was like it killed the whole, I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore. And I went to Arby's.
It's a good place to go. When things like this happen.
I was like, I'm out.
Go get a roast beef.
Yeah, it hurt. Because the thing is, I came out of the gate and I had the lead, and in my head I'm like, oh yeah, and then I remembered, no, it's 1-on-6. Like,
right,
you're gonna lose.
Right. Well, you gave an effort.
It still bothers me. It's like that. It's like that old athlete that gets like a flashback of something.
Right. Something
that happened to them.
Right.
Anytime I see Flip Cup going on, I'm just like, Oh God, I'm having flashback.
2000. All right, well, I got nothing else.
Have a good weekend, Mark. See you in a week.
Yes, I'm Mark tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on social media.
Brad,
Oh, wait, hold on, Marcus. Keep an eye out on my Twitter feed for Monday.
okay.
I'm making the best burgers you've ever seen in your life on Monday.
I love to see it.
Keep an eye out for the feed.
BradAmendShow.com for the merch. Also, go see our friends at Vans Jewelers. Like and subscribe on YouTube, please. And until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us. You're never going to stop us. Wait.